Welcome back to Harmon Homestead. We've got some helpers in the gardens today, our little kittens, and we are going to talk about tomatoes. So you can see the intercropping works. There's weeds on the outside by my onions, but nothing on the inside with the tomato plants. But it's that time of the year. The humidity's awful. The heat index in Alabama today is 90 to 98. So it's tough. So we got to work on these plants. So I've been pruning this morning. This is our best tomato method. Our best way to grow tomatoes. This is a cage tomato, but I've already worked on my cattle panel down there, and this is what we're doing. So start off right off the bat. Start looking at the bottom of your tomatoes. Do you see that? That's blight. Those dark spots, you've got to cut it off. So when I say to prune, you have got to prune these things. Leave the suckers. See that sucker? It'll produce fruit. Leave it, because you're gonna need it to take in chlorophyll, because we're gonna prune these to a nub. So I'm gonna reach down in there with my shears and get this out for y'all to see. Where'd the spots go? I can't even tell. It's starting to rain, y'all. Right there. That's blight. The spot on that leaf. I see more. What we're gonna do is keep working through here and finding the blight. You can tell it's all right there, and I don't know where he's come. There he is. So if you see it on a branch, just go on. Ooh, that branch has got fruit on it, so I hate to whack the whole thing off. Start pruning. Now the good news is I showed you guys using copper last week. I don't see anything on the top, and these things have Cadillac'd. 7 days ago I told you he was about 4 inches from hitting the top of this panel, and now look. This is what chicken manure will do for a plant. We're obviously, I mean, it's raining right now. We're supposed to get a ton of rain tomorrow with some severe storms. I'm gonna put fertilizer on these and chicken manure. I want these to jump and jump big time, because I'm pruning them to a nub. This is why I talk about a tree. I've got them just whacked off, and usually I go a lot more aggressive than this, but I'm not noticing the blight too awfully bad. But I want to catch this before it gets out of hand, and it will quick. See, it starts on your lower branches always. So I'm taking my shears, I'm just pulling them up. You can see there, blight. So I've got them laid. I know I shouldn't, guys. It don't matter. It don't matter how close I plant these. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick all those branches up. It doesn't matter. You're gonna catch it in this humidity. It don't matter. So I mean, might as well just cram them packed. That's what I've been doing. That's just me. I don't see any more on this one. They're not as bad as I've seen in the past, but it doesn't hurt to prune for a little airflow. Like him, I'm just gonna go and take him off. He might have a spot or two. Just don't get your suckers. That's me. Because the year that I pruned suckers, somebody on YouTube said, oh, prune your suckers for airflow. Well, I did. And then my whole plant died, because once it got blight, I had no more leaves to take in chlorophyll, and it was dead. So be very careful with pruning suckers if you're going to come out here, if you've got blight, and you're going to try to prune like I'm doing. Okay. So let's see him. You're mainly going to want to look at the bottom. Ooh, onion. So, yeah, we've got it on the bottom, as usual, nothing new. Let's see here, if I can show y'all that. Look at that sucker, and he's got little blooms on him, so he's gonna make fruit. So we don't wanna mess with that. So we're gonna pull this out, get up off the ground. I see this branch has got some. Leave the sucker back there, because you may need it in the long run. And that one. Fertilize tomatoes. Fertilize, 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 fertilize. Now, this is a problem. When I talk about it getting on the stem, there it is. See those little spots? If it's on your stem, you better start fertilizing like there's no tomorrow, because your plant's not going to last too awfully much longer. I'm just telling you. You're going to have to work these things like nobody's business if it's already on the stem, because once it starts setting fruit, you know, it's... Ugh. I've had these out since April the 1st, and it's almost like the earlier I put them out, the worse they've done, because it was so wet and humid. Now here's a bad branch of blight. But again, the good news is I have not seen any on the front. or the top. I can weasel him out of there. Come here. So look at that. That is horrible. And see how it just flaked off the branch? That's blight. I mean, ooh. And a lot of people don't know it. They think their tomato plants are just dying. Like, well, the lower leaves die and the top ones. And if I spaced them further apart, it probably wouldn't be as bad. I know this, but I also know my growing conditions, and I know that I'm gonna get this blight no matter what. Whether I'm intercropping, whether I'm doing whatever. But the main thing is I like to prune the bottom branches no matter what. Now, if I notice like this one, it's got a lot of blight towards the bottom or on stems, but nothing up top, I leave the leaves, because I'm telling you out of pure experience, I have went through here before and whacked off every sucker just because somebody said to for airflow, and it worked for them, but it didn't for me. And I'm gonna need those suckers. I'm gonna need them. So I think we're okay there. As long as your tops are okay, you're in business. If it's okay up top with all your plants and no blight, you're okay. So if you're seeing this at home and you've got it on your plants, listen to me. Prune, fertilize, don't over prune, because then you're going to end up with nothing to taking chlorophyll. I've got one plant down here that is, ooh, I see him. I mean, you've got to scan this stuff. See that? My video last year was Memorial Day, and I had blight, and I planted April the 15th or 16th. These were April the 1st, and it's May the 8th. So that's right on time for blight. But this one down here, I noticed, is getting it on the trunk at the bottom. That is not good at all. So we're gonna have to fertilize heavy. Now let me show you this. I was so tickled. If I can find him. Look there. Look at that baby. We got a little tomato. We got blooms everywhere. I mean, they're all blooming right now. It's beautiful. So spray with copper. I might try baking soda, 1 to 2 tablespoons to 1 to 2 gallons. I might try that, especially with this rain coming in. I would not put copper on it if it's going to rain, because that's just going to wash off and that's going to be ineffective. You want it dry for a couple days doing that and go from there. But as long as you see that light green growth, you're in business. Now let me come down here and show you the cattle panel and what we did this morning. I was going to try to film it and it just did not work out. I've pruned these and I've got them, well, not cattle panel, concrete reinforcement wire. I've got them tacked up everywhere. I'm having to start working these. These have not been in the ground as long, but I'm not noticing blight as bad. And look at these since I fertilized. I did that video on Friday. Today is Wednesday. Look at these tomato plants. I've got 1 or 2 that looks like they're just not going to make it over in here. Those 2, but everything else, look at the growth. Look at this. So right now, we want to hit them with the fertilizer. And I may come and just lay old chicken manure beside it tonight. I want it to start jumping, because I already know if I've got this over here, what's getting ready to happen. All right, guys, prune, spray. We had some people ask for tips for tomatoes. These are our tips. Best thing I can tell you is try to keep the plant alive. That's about it. If you live in the South and it's humid, and if you notice those spots all over your branches, and you know, I could stand out here and literally look for hours, and I'll find little spots. Sometimes you may want to take off the leaf. Sometimes you may want to take off the branch. And essentially, everybody says, well, you want good airflow. Well, you're getting good airflow by doing this. But these 2 down here at the bottom, they're terrible. So, well, they're not, but to me they are, because it's so discouraging every year planting tomatoes and get blight. And like I said, I've come out here and planted 2 and they get it, and I've come out here and planted 100 and they get it. So it's really it's just a battle you got to face down here in the South. All right, guys, it's starting to rain. There's the garden. I thinned the other one out yesterday, We planted some stuff. We're getting ready to do our garden tour probably tomorrow. We will see you guys next time on Harmon Homestead.